Hey guys, welcome back. So this video is going to be about Class 2B Lesson 5 at CDC and how you're going to pass it. It's basically all the hacks you're ever going to need to pass this test, right? I'm going to be covering everything from the second you enter to the minute you leave, what you got to do, as well as how to prep for it, right? So first thing you want to do, tip number one, this is pro tip number one, is that you want to book a self-practice session on the same day as your Lesson 5. Why? So that you can test out the bike and you know which bike is working fine. It's not going to give you any issues. There's no rattling. There is no troubles with the biting point. You are comfortable with the bike and you run through the whole circuit with that bike, as well as like a mini revision for you, right? You want to book the bike session like maybe an hour or 2 hours before your lesson 5 so that when you're done with your self-practice, you can put your helmet on the bike, chop the bike. So when you come back for lesson 5, no surprises. You know how this bike works. This bike has been chopped for you. You take the bike and you go. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is the little vest thingy with a number on. What you want to do is get a number between 15 to 20. Why? You do not want to be the first person that's moving out. Neither do you want to be the last person that's moving out. So that's just my personal opinion. If you think it's better to be the first person or the last person to move out, that's up to you. Because the way most of the lesson 5 are structured, there's 3 waves that moves out. There is the lesson 8 class 2B wave. That's the first wave to move out, immediately followed by class 2B lesson 5 wave, which is you guys, followed by class 2 and slash 2A. So the third wave to move out. So you guys will form out in the nursery in those rows, and then you guys will move out one by one when the first instructor does this, like he calls you, right? So that's how you're gonna move out. But even before we get there, that's the reason I'm asking you to get like a number that's in between. So you're not the first 3, neither are you like the last 1 or 2 to move out, because I feel like more eyes are on you when you're the first few to move out. And I feel like it's more comfortable to be in the middle, so mentally you feel more safe. But that's just my opinion. Do what you want to do. So pro tip number 1, chop a bike by going for a self-practice right before your lesson 5. Pro tip number 2, get a number that's in between like 15 to 20. Pro tip number 3, stay hydrated because you're sweating your balls off. You don't want your brain to get fried, and it's usually very hot in Singapore. So yeah, that's my first 3 pro tips even before we get started. So you got everything on, you go to the fall-in area, you're just waiting there. If you got any questions, this is the perfect time to ask the instructors. Ask the instructors anything you're worried about, anything you're not sure about. Because the next thing that happens is that the instructors will be like, go get your bike, go for your circuit run. You have one circuit revision run. So you go take your bikes, you go around the test route one time, and there's no one watching you. You just do your own thing, take your time, just run through everything once, just for like a little mental revision, right? I would say don't rush it. Take your time, because one thing you can do is when you come back, you can go to the CDC RTT app and you can see, and it says test attempt 1. So there's test attempt 1 and there's test attempt 2. The instructors are there for test attempt 2 and they're like watching you and judging you and stuff. But test attempt 1 is where the system is recording you and still evaluating you as well. So you can go back and look at those videos and see if the system detected something and gave you extra points when you feel like you did everything perfectly. So after you come back from your circuit run, like circuit revision run, you probably get like 5, 10, 15 minutes rest until everyone comes back, and then you guys are ready to move off for your actual test run of lesson 5. Take that time to run through that CDC RTT app, see if there's anything you need to work on or be aware of, as well as ask any questions that you might have to the instructors. All right, so this is tip number 4. Yeah, I think it's tip number 4 right now. After that, you guys go onto your bikes, get ready, form up. You're gonna form up in your number order. So when you park your bike in the nursery, it's gonna be, let's say this is the exit. Let's say the top of the screen is the exit out of the nursery. First row here, it's going to be the class 2B lesson 8. Second row, class 2B lesson 5. Third row, class 2/2A. This is the order you guys are going to be parking your bike in when you come back from your circuit revision. After that, what you're going to do is the instructor will call you like from the smallest to biggest number. So the class 2B lesson 8 guys will be the first one to move out. After that, class 2B lesson 5, and then class 2 and 2A. So that's why I asked you to get like a middle number, so you're like the middle person within your lesson to move out, so you don't feel too stressed or anything, and you don't follow the wrong person and do the wrong thing as well. Next thing is, so you're ready to move out over here. First thing you do is look out for the instructor who's sitting over here at X marks the spot, right? He's going to do this. When he does that, you can move. But before you move, you got to do your safety checks. So check number 1, you're going to look at this lane here. Make sure it's clear. You're going to check back right. Make sure you spend a few seconds here just to make it obvious, and make sure you look over your shoulder because you don't want to be half-assing it because the instructor's really like staring at you. And then you're going to blind spot left as well because you're going to turn towards your left, you're going to blind spot left. So 3 things to take note of. Once it's all clear, and make sure it's clear because it's very easy to fail here. If there's any oncoming cars, just wait. You're going to turn left, you're going to stay in the middle of the lane, and you're going to immediately signal right. You're going to signal right, and you're going to diagonally cut to the right lane. You're going to go over here. So you're going to cut to the right lane over here. Why diagonally? Because if you swerve or you cut quickly, it's considered abrupt lane change and you get points for that as well. So what you want to do is just slight diagonal cut. Before you cut, after you signal, make sure you check back right. You want to check back right to make sure there's no oncoming vehicles. You might know there is no oncoming vehicle, but you still got to do it to show the instructor that you're checking check back right, just to make sure there's no oncoming vehicle. And then you cut to the right lane, right? So once you cut to the right lane, what you got to do is form up right, left, right, left. Pro tip number 5. You're gonna hold both your handbrake and foot brake at all times during the circuit, because apparently the instructors are looking out for that, and if they catch you without holding both brakes, like your right hand, I know what we do usually. We usually have our foot brake on and we just rest our right arm on the engine or the tank or something and we're just chilling. Don't do that. So don't take the risk. Every time you stop, make sure you're holding on to the front brake and the rear brake at all times, because the lights light up at the front and some instructors are looking out for it, and you're also told to have both brakes on at all times whenever you're stopping. So make sure both brakes are engaged. Only the left foot touches the ground throughout the whole test. Nothing else touches the ground. Only your left foot, and only when you stop. So over here, once you're here and you formed up right, left, you're gonna check back right before every single move off. And then it's probably gonna take a couple of seconds, minutes to get to the front because there might be a little bit of a jam or a queue, but just take it slow, check back right, accelerate a bit, go to the inch forward, and then brake again. And don't do it too aggressively. You do not want your right leg coming onto the ground. Pro tip number 6, always use your foot brake first and hand brake, the front brake, as the last measure, the last option, or at the last minute. Reason being, when you hit your handbrake, the front brakes, there's a bit of a jolt. If you're going too fast, it's really going to throw you forward, and that's when your right leg comes out to stabilize yourself as well. But if you hit your right, foot brake, the rear brakes first, it's gonna drag and slow down your bike, and you're not gonna have that jerking fly forward movement, and you're gonna be more stable as well, which means you feel more comfortable. You're not gonna fall off the bike, and your right foot will never come down, which is another great thing, right? So you're gonna inch forward. You're gonna get to the stop line over here. When you get to the stop line, always stop at the stop line. It doesn't matter if you're only half a wheel behind the stop line, because the previous guy had inched forward and was on the stop line. You're gonna stop at the stop line, and then you're gonna inch forward and have your foot, your left foot, on the stop line as you're making sure the coast is clear, right? And just before you move off again, you wanna check back right and blind spot left. I know some people say it's not necessary when you're already there, but I just do it just to be safe. And I'm not 100% clear whether you need to or don't need to, but my recommendation is, especially before you're going to move off, check back right and blind spot left. I've heard different versions of what you can do at this point, but for me personally, to not fail, what I did was I did a check back right and I did a check back left as well, just to be safe, right? Once you do that, rev your engine and move off smoothly. You do not want to wobble, you get points for that. You do not want to have a stalled engine as well, so just give it a little bit more rev, and then change the gear to as fast as you can, because once you hit this road here, your speed's gotta go up, right? And then if you're still on gear 1, engine sound is a bit too loud. Like, a lot of people recognize it and they start changing their gear to over at this point, which might be a bit too late. So for me, either I change it at the very start, right before I start my turning, or as I'm turning, I change it, but you might not be comfortable with that depending on how many times you have practiced. Do a slower turn so your engine is not over revving, and then change the gear to the moment you can. Okay, so there you go. That's just the starting point. Once you get past this point, it's a little bit easier. So you're gonna signal left, check back left, and then cut to the left lane, and then you're gonna stay on the left lane because lane discipline, and then you're gonna come to this corner here, and then when you come to this corner here, you're gonna check back right. Or it's more like a blind spot right, because you're turning to the right, curving to the right, you wanna blind spot right, right? So you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna come over here, and when you're at this point, signal right, because you're gonna cut into the right lane. So you're gonna signal right, there's an arrow here. What you wanna do is cut to the right lane before this arrow. So if you reach that arrow already, stay behind the arrow, stop there, stick to the right side of that lane, and just wait to have some space to cut to the right side. If there's any cars or anything, just wait. Most of the car instructors, they understand what's going on. They see your purple tag and they know that you're on your lesson 5. You'll just do this. They just want you to like, go ahead, you know, so just wait for someone to give you space and then go for it. A lot of the cars over here, they might be turning into one of these things here. So they might be waiting there for quite some time. It's okay. Wait. You do not want to be overly eager and then go to the front and then cut here, because that might be they might give you points for that. I don't know who's watching, but I've heard people getting points for that. So if it was me, just to play it safe, just wait there. So you cut to the right lane, you're just gonna keep your signal on, and then you're gonna stick to the right side of the right lane. You're gonna go all the way here, and once you are at all the way to the front over here, and once you're in line with this line, check for oncoming cars from this side, check for any cars that's turning from here as well. Some cars might go like this. Ooh. Some cars might turn right from here and go here, so check for cars on this road and this road. These are 2 important segments I would say you got to check, right? So once you check those stuff and it's all clear, turn right. After you turn right, if you're on gear 2, get ready to slow down. Watch out for cars turning from here as well. Sometimes they might want to go into the slope. So some TP test instructors, they will ask the car drivers to go from here directly into the slope. So watch out for cars coming from here. So the moment you cut, immediately be careful, be aware of what every single car is doing. There might be cars coming up from here and going here as well. Trust no one. Trust no one except yourself, and play it safe. So you're gonna go straight, you're gonna switch down to gear 1 a bit, getting ready to stop. So once you reach this point, you're gonna stop here in line with the white color marking that sticks out here, because you want to make sure the bottom is clear for you to drive in here, as well as the road over here is clear. There's no oncoming vehicles. This is just for your own safety. So make sure everything is ready, clear, and you can move off. You're gonna check back right. Your signal is already on at this point since you're already waiting to turn right, and then you're gonna just drive up this curve. If you are on the right hand side as you're driving up, your signal should be right. So you don't have to change your signal. But if you're on the left-hand side, which is here, you're gonna have to switch to a left signal because the signal should be the one closest to the curb side, right? Okay. So now we are at the slope. What are you gonna do for the slope? Okay. So now we are at the slope. If you're at the bottom of the slope, rev your engines, go up the slope, and then stop before that stop line. Because you do not want to exit that line. I think you get points for that. So you want to stop before that line. And then once you stop, make sure you're on gear 1 as well. You do not want to stop on a gear 2. If, unfortunately, stop at gear 2, do your checks properly. So check back right, put your right foot down, bring your left foot up, bring down the gear, check back left, put the gear foot down, and then right foot back up, and make sure you're clutching all your brakes while you're doing everything. Once you're ready to go, rev, change. Once you're ready to go, signal to the center to show intention, check back, rev, and then drive off smoothly. Once your gear gets into the biting point, your rev immediately goes down a bit, right? So your RPM drops a little bit, but that's when you gotta rev more. A lot of people, once it gets into the biting point and then the rev starts going down a little bit, they previously would have heard the high rev sound and they panic and they also start releasing the rev at the same time. You do not want to do that. Rev excessively as you release the clutch. One pro tip at this point, I would give is use the Suzuki bikes because the clutch is more forgiving on you. And then even if you release it a bit too fast or you throw your clutch, it still bites. So as long as you're revving, you'll be fine. So I really recommend the Suzuki bikes. They are the newer bikes. Biting point is amazing and it's going to help you pass as well. So after the slope, still on gear 1, you do not want to change the gear to gear 2. You're just going to let the engine speed or the engine's base RPM bring you forward. As you go down the slope, you do not have to accelerate, let it glide down, let engine braking do its thing. If you're going too fast, hit your rear brakes first and then your front brake as well. And then you're just going to line up on the down slope if there's people ahead of you. And then you're going to come to the stop line. You're going to stop at the stop line as well. Don't just follow the person in front of you blindly. And then you're going to turn left. Before you turn left, check back right. Check back left if you're on the right side as well. Because you want to make sure no one's coming down the middle. And then move off. There's no inching forward for this. That's what I've been told. But if you want, please clarify with the instructor. I did not inch forward. I did not get any points for that. I just moved off. So that's just my experience. When you move off, there is 2 arrows here. One goes here and one goes straight. If there's a bit of a traffic jam here, form up one row on the right hand side because there's 2 arrows and you're not turning left. But if there's no traffic jam, and I've never seen a traffic jam there, just drive slowly and just go straight so you do not have to stop. As you come to this point here, there is a slight bend here. So what you want to do is check back left, blind spot left check, as you turn to the left. And if you're on gear 2, get ready to jump down to gear 1 just in case there's any pedestrians crossing over here. So if there's pedestrians crossing or getting ready to cross, you want to play it safe, just slow down and stop. And at this point, there's only 1 arrow, so there's going to be a 2-line formation. So left, right, standard procedure, right? So after the zebra crossing, you're going to continue straight. There's 2 arrows here, one that goes straight and one that turns left. So if you need to form up here or you need to slow down, you're going to form up on 1 row on the left side, and you're going to signal left as well. And at this point here, you want to do a blind spot left check because you're turning to the left. Okay. Next station is it's gonna be the figure of 8 and the crank cross. So figure of 8 and crank cross is the 2. So figure of 8, the emergency brake station, and the narrow plank. These 3 are the stations that you have to watch out for the yellow light. Do not go unless there's a yellow light that signals. And even if it takes 10 minutes, you're gonna wait there, because there was instances, especially on my first test, where I saw the figure of 8 guy took super long to like turn on the yellow blinking signal. So people thought they missed it and they just went. So stare at it, and if you don't see it after even 1-2 minutes, just wait for it. Like wait till you see the yellow light and then move off. Because if you missed it and you didn't see it, he would just, turn it on again and then you can move off, right? So play it safe. When you come to this, when you turn left, you want to stop before the yellow box here, because the yellow box is where people are going to come up from the crank course. You do not want to obstruct that. I don't know if you get points for it, but you're definitely going to affect the guy who's finishing his crank course. So don't be an asshole. Stop before that, and you're going to form up in 2 rows again. If there's enough space on this side, then go forward. If you're not sure, just stay on this side. Please do not block the yellow box, because that's really an asshole move. In fact, if you can leave a little bit more space here, I would say that's very gracious of you, because when the guy comes up from the crank course, he's got to do some stuff, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute as well. So right now, you're over here, you're going to be signaling left, just waiting, you're going to be inching forward, make sure both hands are on the brake, and as you reach the front, you're just going to keep an eye on the yellow light, which is going to be here, and once it turns yellow for you, you're going to go. So as you're going into the figure of 8, my pro tip here is to go as fast as you can, even before you enter the figure of 8, because this is going to help you out. So what I did is I would rev my engine right before I'm starting to move, and then as I move, I rev it more, I go to gear 1, and I immediately switch to gear 2 as well, because your bike allows it. And then even before I enter the figure of 8, I'm on gear 2, and I'm going pretty fast. Once I enter figure of 8, I start leaning, because the curve actually begins here. A lot of people go straight here, and then suddenly they have to curve a lot. So once you enter, start curving, start leaning, and start turning as soon as you can. Whenever you can, that's the perfect time to do it. So the moment you enter figure of 8, first thing, you're already on gear 2, you should have turned off your signal, and you should begin to lean. These are the 3 things that you gotta be aware of as you're going into figure of 8. For me, I realized that being on gear 3 is the best speed, and is the speed that you have to be to finish figure of 8 under 10 seconds. And I practiced figure of 8 a lot of times, and I lean really aggressively. But for most people, and what the test expects of you is to be on gear 2, and you gotta be revving a little bit, because if you're not revving, there's no way you're hitting the speed required to finish it in time, as well as if you're not leaning, and if you're sitting straight, that means you're definitely not going fast enough to finish it on time as well. During your practice sessions, lean, go fast, take the risk of almost falling to the ground, because this is the best time to fall down. You do not want to fall down on the main road outside when you're actually riding, because you do not know your limits. This is the best time to test your limits, and I really tested my limits. I think I finished figure of 8 like in 8 seconds. That's like my fastest timing, and I was leaning so much, like my toes was scraping the ground, like my shoe, and I could feel it, and I was like, okay, that's too low, and I came up a little bit. But the more you lean, the more faster you can go, because the bike is going to pull you towards the middle, but your lean is pulling you to the side, so you're stuck in this angle. If you lean too much, you're going to be here, and if you're going too fast, you're going to be here. And you want to finish this fast, right? So lean more and go faster as well. That's the fastest way to finish it. There's the middle point here, where a lot of people come up and they're riding straight for a good 2-3 seconds before they get to the other side and start leaning. Don't do that. You're wasting time. What you want to do is you're leaning on this angle. The moment you go to the middle, you're just swinging to the other side. There is no this angle, come to the middle, and then go to this angle. There is just this, right? That's the fastest way to finish it. Usually I stay on gear 2 all the way till this point, and then right before I exit the turn, I switch down to gear 1, so that my engine braking immediately slows me down, so I don't go too wide with the turn. So I drop down to gear 1, but see what's comfortable for you. Some people like to go on gear 2 all the way till they're outside, so they finish it a little bit faster, and then they drop down to gear 1 so that they can stop on gear 1. The second thing you also have to do, other than dropping your gear, is signaling. You're going to signal left, I would say about this point here. So signal left, because the next exit, which is this exit, is the one you're going to take. So you come out and there's a stop line here. You're going to stop right there. And then just take like a second. If you need to adjust yourself, just do it, because there's no more timing at this point. But when you're ready to go, check back right, blind spot left, because you're going to turn left into the crank course, and then go smoothly. Second tip I would give for this point as well is, as you turn left, jump to gear 2 as fast as you can. Because the moment you enter crank course, I would say it's really hard to accelerate and then turn as well. So I just go to gear 2 and I let my bike glide and I just focus on turning. So every single turn, I'm not worried about like, am I going fast enough or is this too slow? I just focus on the turning and then just stay away from the curb side. You do not want to hit the curb, you fail. I don't think it's an immediate failure. I think you get like 10 points or something. I can't remember. But really, you do not want to hit the curbs. You do not want to push off the curb as well. Some people, when they're turning, they realize they're getting too close to the curb. They stick their leg out and push off. You get points for that as well. Don't do that. I'm not sure if you fail. But yeah. So maintain in the middle of the crank course as much as you can. And then when you exit, make sure you're looking on this road, because there might be cars coming in from here. So you want to make sure this side is clear, and then you want to make sure there's no vehicles on this side as well, because what you're going to do is you're going to signal left, right? You're going to look out, signal left, make sure there's no vehicles, that nothing is going to block you before you enter the yellow box. You do not stop in the yellow box. So if there's any dangers or something's blocked, stay before the yellow box at this point. But if it's all clear, go into the yellow box and you're already signaling left, you turn slightly to the left. There might be bikes that are over here right after the yellow box. So what you're going to do is, once you enter the yellow box and you already have your signal left on, immediately switch to a right signal, because you are going to cut to the right side lane. And then you're going to cut straight to the right lane, and then you're going to move off. So it might seem as if you're going from here to here and you think you only need to put a left signal on, but no, that's not true. You got to put a left signal on first, because you're going into this left lane here, and then you're gonna, you can't see where I'm pointing. So you're gonna put a left signal because you're gonna go here, and then immediately a right signal because you're gonna cut into the right lane. But because there is no space here, you got to do all that in the yellow box. So you're gonna left signal, enter the yellow box, right signal, cut to the rightmost lane, and then it's all clear road for you, hopefully, and then you go there. Once you've crossed this point, signal left, cut to the left lane, and get ready to stop if there's a red light here. If there's no red light, just continue on straight, and then only do a blind spot left as you're going to turn. But if there's a red light, you're gonna form up here in one row, because there's a double hit arrow there. So form up in one row, and if you're the first person, you're gonna check back right, blind spot left, and then you're gonna move off. If you're the second person, check back right, move forward, and as you're reaching the curve, check back left. So after that, you're over here, same thing you did at the very start. You're gonna be on the left lane, you're gonna signal right, check back right, cut to the right lane, and diagonal cuts only, do not abrupt lane change. When you get here, form up right, left, inch forward, move off. Once, same protocol at this point as well, move off, same protocol at this point as well. You're gonna signal left, check back left, cut diagonally, you're gonna go here, and then you're still gonna keep your left signal on, and because you're gonna go to the narrow plank, the plank course. So you're gonna keep your left signal on all the way until this point. Once you enter the side road, you can turn off your left signal. Form up on the left, right again. Inch forward, and then maintain the brake as well. Put double hands on the brake, right? Gonna maintain double hands on the brake. As you get to the front of the plank course here, make sure you are aligned with the plank even before you are moving off. So as much as you can, because it's going to be double row, and then there'll be two bikes back to back just before the plank course. When you're the two bikes back to back, align as much as you can with the plank course, especially if you're the front bike. Really make sure you're aligned with the plank course, because if you're at the side, it's going to be a bit hard for you, and you just ask for unnecessary trouble. You're going to maintain coffee break. For the plank course, what you're going to do is you're going to maintain gear 1. You're going to move up in a straight line, be stable. I would say don't pull on the what's that called, handle. I would say do not pull on the handle. I feel that's less stable. If you're pushing on the handle, I feel it's more stable. It keeps the front wheel more stable. At least that's how I feel. See what works for you. The other pro tip that works for me is keeping your eye on the cone, the furthest away cone. One of the cones have a number 1 written on it. Stare at the shit out of it, and just focus on it. The bike is more stable, but the further you look, the more stable your bike is. Do not look down. Do not look at the end of the plank as well. Just look far ahead. Because the moment your bike deviates a little bit, you can feel it, and your body auto corrects it. Like, your human mind is amazing. Anyways, you're on the plank course. Another tip is, so if you go too slowly to go up the plank, you're going to struggle a bit, and then you might lose your balance a bit. So go a little bit faster, but too fast, when you reach the top of the plank, you're going to bounce. And the first time I did it, I bounced off the plank. So I don't recommend it. It happened to my friend as well. So what I recommend is going at a speed of 10 to 15. After a while, subconsciously you know the speed, and you know if you're going too fast or too slow as you're entering the plank. So just practice. The more you practice, the more stable you're going to be. Once you hit the plank and you're stable, honestly, 6 seconds is all that is expected. You can definitely do more than 6 seconds, because halfway through the plank, if you feel like you're going too fast, hit the rear brake a little bit, slow down a little bit, and then just glide all the way to the end. And at the last part, if you think you need 1 more second, hit the rear brake a little bit, let the rear wheel spend another second on the slope as it's coming down. Just make sure you don't stall the engine. But yeah, you can buy another second over there as well. But trust me, slow down early so you have a lot more time on the plank. It's really easy. If you're stable, you can pass it. So you come down, you're already on gear 1, you stop at the stop line. You're gonna get ready to move off, because the next course is the Pylon course, right? So you're gonna check back right, and then you're gonna move off and go to gear 2 as fast as you can, because while you're doing the Pylon, it's hard to accelerate in between. So you want to be in gear 2, already going at a good speed, even before you enter the Pylon course, because I think you get a couple of seconds there as well. You gotta be fast. I think you gotta be under 6 seconds if I'm not wrong. So go fast, just zoom, 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 and then you're out of it. Yeah, it's really easy, especially the last cone. Once you have came out of the last cone, just rev and go fast so you can come out of it ASAP. Yeah, that's what I did, and it helps. Once you come up from the Pylon, it's a straight road to the e-brake section. Just go slow, nothing to accelerate about. Take a deep breath, catch your breath, calm your nerves, because I had a lot of nerves going on. Once you get there, brake. Just wait for the e-brake segment. There's usually 1 or 2 people there. But if it's all clear, just go to the white line. Wait, do not cross the white line. Wait for the yellow signal. Sorry, plank as well. I'm not sure if I mentioned, you gotta wait for the yellow signal. If no yellow signal, do not move. Don't care if the instructor looks at you and stuff. Wait for the yellow signal, unless there is no unless. So e-brake as well. Wait for the yellow signal. Once the yellow signal is on, rev, go forward, and you're gonna e-brakes over here. You're gonna rev, go forward. You're gonna be in gear 3 before you reach the first line over here. So I think it's quite easy. I've tried it. The fastest I can go is to gear 5, and I'm going at like 50-60 km/h, and I can still stop within the stopping time. So gear 3, really easy. Anything above 27 to 29 km/h, all the bikes have the yellow light in front that lights up, and that's what the instructors are looking for. I think the instructor said that you have to be above 35 km/h, but I'm not sure if they use anything to measure that. But just to be on the safe side, please go above 35 km/h. The yellow light that lights up in front of you is to give you a mental signal from the corner of your eyes that you are hitting 30 km/h. Go a little bit faster, especially near the end. Once you cross this line over here, what you're going to do is close the accelerator thingy, acceleration handlebar. Do not reach for the clutch yet. Apparently they give you points for that. So close this, hit your rear brakes first. If you hit the front brakes, you're going to fly off the bike. Hit the rear brakes, let your bike slow down, and let it reach the front. And as you're almost reaching the front, squeeze the front brake, and as you're gonna come to a complete stop, that's when you pull in the clutch because you do not want to stall the engine. So everything's on, like squeezed right now. What you're gonna do is check back right, put your right foot down, left foot on the gear changing thingy pedal, bring down the gear pedal, bring it down to 1, and make sure you look at it to confirm that it's on first gear, because a lot of times it gets stuck, especially for me. I don't know why. It always gets stuck on like gear 2, gear 3 when it's like trying to shift down. Sometimes it's on neutral as well. So really stomp on it, make sure it goes on to gear 1. If it does not, bring it back up, see a gear 3 or gear 2 again, and then bring it back down again, because sometimes you get stuck in between. Once you are confirmed to be on gear 1, look back left, check back left, sorry, left foot down, right foot on the brake, and then you're ready to move off. Check back right, signal right, and then you just move off. You do not have to do the bumpy course, so skip the bumpy course, go on the right side of it, be stable. You do not want to hit the bumpy tire thingy on the side as well. As you're coming to this point here, you're gonna check back right again, make sure there's no oncoming vehicles. If there's oncoming vehicles, wait. If there's none, road is clear, go. Because if you try to be fast and accelerate and go, they give you points for that as well. So your right signal, keep it on, because at this point there is double-headed arrow as well that's going straight and turning right. Sorry, it's a mess. So your right signal, you're going to keep it on here. You do not want to go straight, you want to turn here. So this is the path you want to take. You're going to remain on the leftmost lane as you're coming here. Keep the right signal on again. If you turn it off, turn it on again, because again the road diverges here. And you're going to come down here and you're just going to keep on going. If your friends are over here cheering you on, like I was there for one of my friends, say hi, but do not take your hands off the handlebar. Continue straight, watch out for pedestrian, standard protocol. You're gonna come over here. You're gonna signal right. So before the curve, right, you wanna signal right, and then you wanna start cutting into the right lane. Because at this point here, you should already be on the right lane. On the right lane, if there's cars, slow down. There's an arrow over here. You do not wanna cross the arrow. So you're gonna stop behind the arrow at this point. And then you're gonna cut into this area here, and then you're gonna go straight, and then you're gonna keep your right signal still on because you're gonna cut here as well. Make sure there is no oncoming vehicles from this side. Ooh, that's hard to see. Maybe I'll stick to it. From this side, you want to make sure no one's turning up from here as well. You don't want to get in anyone's way. It's a bit dangerous. Even though you're on the main road, play safe. It's your test. Signal right, check back right, because it's going to turn right again. Yeah, even when you're cutting lane from here, check back right. Every time you switch lane, obvious, you check back right or check back left, whichever lane you're going into. Check back right as you cut to the right lane. Check back right as you're turning here. Once you turn here, if there's no obstruction, just continue ahead. If there's obstruction, slow down. Switch down to gear 1 if you have to. Check back right here as well, and then look at the oncoming car. Make sure there's no oncoming car. The test is not over until your bike is put back on its like stand. So when you go in, there's instructors there. They'll be like, oh, park here, park there, and stuff like that. Just follow them. Drive carefully. You do not want to hit other bikes. Drive slowly. Switch down to gear 1, and if you have to, just like put both feet down and just like inch forward into the parking spot here, because last thing you want to do is bang into something or create an accident or something. So yeah, and then neutral gear, park your bike, and hopefully you passed. So after everything is done and dusted, what you're gonna do is, well, talk to your friends, hydrate. Sometimes they update the CDC RTT app very quickly, so you can check the app to see if you passed. If not, go to the fall-in area over here and just stand by. If you're rushing home, you can rush home. You can just check the app back later. But I would say just wait here so you get a piece of paper that says that you passed or failed, and as well as you can ask the instructors if you have any doubt. How did you do? Why did you get certain points and stuff like that. Usually gotta wait like 10-15 minutes, like the end of the session, and the instructors will come out. They usually call the people who passed first, call you to the front, and they'll be like, you guys passed, bye, go book your next lesson 6. And then they call the next batch of people, the numbers, and then you go to the front and you're like, you guys almost failed, but we decided to give you a chance and we will pass you guys this time around. And then the third batch of people they call to the front is people who failed. So, yep. Yeah. Hope you guys pass. If you guys have any tips or things that I got wrong, leave it in the comments. If you guys pass, do come back and tell me as well. I'm really curious to see if this actually helps anyone. But other than that, that's all. Yeah, good luck, guys. Hope to see you guys on the road. And hey, remember, bike riders are defensive riders. So always double check everything. That's it. Peace.